Hi everyone, Andy and Joel at Codebreak here for another episode of Stay Hungry. Let's go. Andy, how you doing?
Oh, thirsty. Always mad on a Monday, isn't it?
And what are we on, like 1:45?
I know. Where does the day go? Where's it go? So what we're here to talk about today?
Tell me.
Okay, right. Field of Dreams. Am I showing my age for the millionth time?
Kevin Costner, is that right?
Yes, that's it. I'm trying to think what year now.
Is it in my lifetime?
Yeah, were you Prince of Thieves? Robin Hood?
91, that is.
Right, okay.
That's 4 years after I was born.
Right, okay. I think Field of Dreams might be before that. Anyway, I call it the Field of Dreams approach to marketing.
Who else is in it?
Oh, not Andy Garcia. Right.
Sorry.
That's
Field
gonna.
of Dreams approach to marketing.
I'm going to be thinking about that all the way through this.
Sorry.
I want to say Andy Garcia. Don't think it is. But anyway, for those who don't know, there's a famous line in it saying, if you build it, they will come. And it's basically, if you build this baseball field, everyone will come. And I call it the Field of Dreams approach to marketing. If you basically launch a business, whether that's a shop on a high street, a brand new website, you think that people are magically going to find you and give you their money. And still, even now, with all the free choices out there and paid for marketing choices, of course, some people still think when they launch a business, people will magically find them and magically give them their money.
Yeah, I mean, we've got experience of this with like literally major London brands on Oxford Street and niche little brands in little tourist towns in the middle of nowhere. And the same applies to both.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to launch a business, and we've launched businesses for clients, I say unfortunately, that's a very British thing to say, you need to have a certain percentage of your money put aside towards your marketing. The amount of business I've spoken to who have, they've got their shop all done on the high street, they've had all the signage done, everything. Right, what's in your marketing budget? It's all gone, all went on the signage, all went on the shop front, all went on staff.
Yeah.
So how are you going to make people know about you? Well, I'm in the middle of the high street. That ain't enough anymore.
Yeah, I could be careful how I put this, but a client's favourite thing is to say, well, my website's not working. No, your website's working fine. Well, there's no traffic. Well, because nobody knows about it. Anyway, I know what's happened here. You're hungry. You've dived straight into the podcast. You haven't even asked me how I am.
How are you, Joel?
Oh, I'm all right.
Excellent, right. So, I think sometimes we're that busy having a chat, people think, well, what are they going to be talking about today?
But then sometimes we dive so deep straight away.
I know, danger to do that. But it's so, sometimes when you've been in the business a long time, what you think is common sense because you've been doing it for so long isn't common sense to everyone. So when you say to someone, oh, right, and your marketing budget, they're like, well, I haven't got any money left. And it's like, oh, right, okay. So I was quite keen to get into that.
Yeah, no. So what made you think of this morning? What sprung it for you?
It was an inquiry we had over the weekend.
Okay.
Someone who, and nothing wrong with this, but they were just being very honest, and they want to know about marketing services because they're struggling, but they haven't got much budget. And it's something we come across now and then. And let's face it, God blimey, we've launched things on a shoestring ourselves. There are some things that we've just had to invest in a good pair of shoes and literally walk around knocking on doors back in the day to do what it takes to get business in.
Your investment's going to be time or money or both.
Yes.
But there's going to be an investment.
Absolutely. So if you turn around and say, haven't got any money, finances are tight, right, okay, what time are you prepared to invest into? Right, will you get up 6 o'clock in the morning twice a week to go to breakfast networking? Oh no, can't be asked to do that. Well, yeah, we definitely can't help you, mate. It's got to be, like you say, one or the other, but more often than not, it's got to be both.
Yeah.
Just even in the good old days, you literally could have a shop on the high street and people would walk in. There's lots of footfall, maybe not many competitors around, but now the footfall ain't what it used to be, of course. And plus, people need a reason to come into your shop.
Yeah.
Loads of people are fighting for their attention. What are you doing to make people come into your shop? What are you spending to make people come into your shop rather than go into a competitor's shop or indeed, of course, shop online?
Or a competitor's website, if you are a website, because this applies to websites too, doesn't it? It's the same. And it's that I think people are so far beyond price purchasing now. If they want convenience, they'll just go on Amazon.
Yeah.
Because chances are they've got Amazon Prime, they're going to get free next day delivery, and the price is probably going to be close to the best price they're going to get. So what are you selling that you can't get on Amazon, or what are you doing differently that will make people want to buy from you, which usually be the customer experience.
Mm-hmm.
But no one knows the customer experience if they've never been before. So how can you give them a taste of that before that point? And that's a really difficult thing for a first-time business owner to get their head around, that the experiential marketing that you need to do.
It's so important. I mean, I've mentioned this story a long time ago, but when I worked at ITV, up the road there was this amazing movie memorabilia shop.
Yeah.
A comic book store essentially, and autographs, all that kind of stuff. Really, really cool shop. It was opposite Stringfellows. That was just a coincidence, nothing to do with why I used to go there. And it was wonderful. I absolutely loved it. And loads of lunchtimes I'd been there and I'd be buying comics or buying posters, whatever it might be. But things change, times change, and I was revisiting London, and I took my wife with me, and I said, let's go to this old movie shop up the road, and she looked really excited about that. But we went in, and there was a massive book about Star Wars, A New Hope, and big, thick, hard, full of all behind-the-scenes photos, really cool book, and it was 40 quid. In the shop, this lovely shop that I've been visiting for years, I went onto my phone, went onto Amazon, and exactly the same book was available for half the price, for 20 quid, delivered free to my door the next day. So as much as I love that shop, 20 quid, 40 quid, because I hadn't been sold on the I love that shop, but these guys, because of their location, they'd never really done any marketing. And they just didn't know any different. They'd relied on that customer loyalty, which was fine until the likes of Amazon, all these things come along. And as much as I want to be loyal to this lovely movie shop that unfortunately is no longer there, 40 quid to take the book away, or 20 quid, and it will be there when I get back home tomorrow. If you're selling a product, that's the reality. And it's not Amazon being evil. Most people, when you ask most business owners, okay, you go on about the evils of Amazon. Do you shop on Amazon? Oh yeah, all the time.
Yeah. Well, I look at this, I look at it the same way, but I was having this conversation with a client quite recently, and I was saying, look at how shops and websites to an extent now, but it's easier with shops, are portrayed in the movies. So if you think in Big, when they go to the toy store, I think he plays the piano with his feet, doesn't he? In Big?
Yeah, with Robert Loggia.
Yeah,
he died. Last year or something. Loved him. Independence Day.
And the experience that they demonstrate of what it's like to go in that toy store is amazing compared to what it would be like to go into a normal shop. Or in the Never-Ending Story, when is his name Bastian? He goes.
It's a sad fact now.
Go on.
Never seen it.
Really?
Mm. Is that the one with the puppets in? Or was that Labyrinth? Never seen that either.
Labyrinth. There is puppets in Never-Ending Story, sort of.
I remember the bloody song. Fucking hell.
Yeah.
I'm going to get told off now. Drop the F-bomb. Sorry, Mum.
So, in the Never-Ending Story, he goes into a bookshop, and it's a really oldie, worldy bookshop with a really, crinkly old man behind the counter smoking a pipe type scenario.
That'll be me one day.
But the experience is amazing, because obviously the first thing you think in this bookshop is, bloody hell, there must be some amazing books in here. And if you step back from that and take that approach with your business, so what does somebody feel like when they step through the door? Or prior to that, what does somebody feel like when they see your social media, or when they get your flyer for the first time, or they see you outside the shop with a megaphone saying something? What kind of emotions are you trying to generate in those people? And why should they come in and buy something from you that they can probably get elsewhere?
I mean, bookshops are a great example, because I think if a bookshop has got their marketing right, when people come into their shop, they've already bought.
Yeah.
That's the point you saw. And there probably aren't many industries that have been hurt more by Amazon than bookshops. But we know a bookshop not far away from here, and they've done
a roaring trade
hugely well from turning part of it into a coffee shop. People go in there and buy a book or take a book in and read, have a coffee. Obviously, high profit drinking coffee there. They have bloody guest authors there. Brian Bless, who's an astronaut, was there signing books. Chris.
Oh, Tim Peake, wasn't it?
No. Because that's going to bloody bug me as well now. Chris someone. I got a picture of my mate John went to meet him. Looked like a giddy schoolboy. Right, I'll find that out for you as well. But yeah, guest signings, things like that.
Yeah.
Amazon can't do that.
Yeah, and the same applies to like record shops. Everyone's saying, "Oh, the LP's dead." I mean, we'll see it with CDs in the future. There'll be a CD revival, but people, they can stream music now. Why would they bother? And then you start to talk to them about the quality and the fact that they can come and listen to it in the shop before they buy it. The fact they get the artwork with it, and chances are it might be like a rare copy. All these things, and then by the way, you can sit in our sound booth and listen to it in a quality you'll never be able to experience at home, and we'll give you a cup of coffee and all these things you can do. And then suddenly the difference between a 12 quid download and a 20 quid LP, the gap's been narrowed a lot more, and the decision's a lot more difficult. And then you go, actually, this is really cool. And now we're seeing it with barber shops that give you a beer when you go and sit in there, and you can book an appointment and be the only person there. And I think hairdressers were onto that way before men's barber shops were.
I mean, don't get us wrong. If we were thinking of launching a product, the first thing we do is like, right, can this be bought easily on Amazon? Can we get anywhere near the price? And is there enough in the buying experience that we can charge more? So yeah, absolutely, don't get me wrong, but you need money. It's just money or shoe leather, or again both. Because even the shop on the high street, not going to work. Websites. I mean, building a website, okay, great. How are you going to get traffic to it? So it's something we're very clear. If we're asked to build a website for a client, it's like, we'll build it. Don't pick up the phone the next day and say, I'm not on page 1 of Google, because back in the day we've had that as well, haven't we? Yeah. And that's not their fault. That's ours for not explaining. Well, it doesn't work like that.
This is how it works. Yeah. I mean, the one brand that always screams out to me, and I've talked about it on the podcast before, Toys R Us. I cannot believe the demise of Toys R Us. It should be easy. I mean, going to Toys R Us when I was a kid was a day out. And yet then it was literally just a warehouse full of toys, obviously. What it should have become is like Hamleys, where you've got demonstrators, people showing you how to do magic tricks, PlayStations you can jump on, and like a really, really, the tagline was a magical place where toys come alive. Well, make it that way then. And instead they tried to diversify into like car seats for babies and all this crap that wasn't toys. And so they tried to diversify and compete with the internet rather than going, actually, we're almost like a real estate business. We've got all these destinations that people love coming to. Why don't we put a soft play centre in? Why don't we have a games cafe where people can come and try before they buy? And I mean, it sounds simple in hindsight, and I'm sure there was people at Toys R Us saying it at the time, but they didn't do it.
No, absolutely.
And it's the one that gets me the most. I completely understand why some businesses just to provide an experience is really difficult, but Toys R Us should have been easy. It's
like my children never been to Harrods, so went to London last summer, I think, and we took them to Harrods, and obviously it's all the jewellery on the ground floor. I've never seen anything like it there. All these shakes going around, and I mean, it was the kids were just like, oh my god, never seen something like this. I said, well, let's go up to the toy floor. Wow, well, like I say, there were magicians there showing all doing all these tricks, and then if you want to buy the kit, it's here it is, it's £40, whatever. But because of the prices Harrods charged, they can obviously afford to employ so many employees. There were literally people demonstrating drones flying about the toy shop. There were people building Lego with children. There were, like I say, there were magicians there, and it was a massive experience. And very few people were leaving the toy department without a toy in their hands.
Hey there, Evie at Codebreak here. Fancy top tips, marketing insights and awesomeness delivered directly to you? Sign up for the free Stay Hungry printed newsletter at codebreak.co.uk.
Smooth. We're getting better at those.
I haven't heard Evie's one before.
Yeah, new one.
That's really cool. Well done, Evie.
So,
need to get Evie in front of the camera now. To get her doing a video. Georgie's done one now, hasn't she? Yeah. Haven't seen that yet.
No, this week, isn't it? It'll go out.
Oh, exciting. So Harrods, yes. So do you think Harrods will be in 100 years?
So is it a Hamleys in Harrods?
No.
Or is it their own Harrods toy store on their
It's their own
level?
Harrods. Hamleys is Regent Street, I think.
Because that's a similar experience type thing, isn't it?
Going there as a kid, that was just... I got a Rubik's snake from there. Do you remember them? Really easy to do.
A Rubik's snake?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, right. So literally like a snake, but you could fold it round and to make a sphere, like a ball.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, Rubik's Barrel.
No.
Wow.
Was there a lot of different Rubik's?
Yeah,
then?
had a Rubik's Barrel on a key ring. So literally you have to get, obviously, all the colours around.
One of my friends has got an 8 cube across Rubik's Cube, and he can do it.
Okay, so he'll be interested. It's either just come out on Netflix or it's about to.
The Speed Rubik's thing.
Yeah, documentary about all these
He's been texting me about it.
strange-looking children who are obviously...
Very good at Rubik's Cube, that's what you were going to say, wasn't it?
Yes!
Yeah.
Yes. No.
Very good at Rubik's Cube. No, we'll leave it at that.
Yeah. All got gifts.
Yes. Is it speed cubing or something? I can't remember.
Something like that. But it looks... Yeah.
There's a guy who can do it less than 30 seconds, and and they all like aspire to be him.
But the world record, when they look, they get a certain amount of time to look at don't they? They hold it right, okay, and then as soon as they put it down, the clock starts, and it's like 4 seconds. It's something mad.
Yeah, I'm into that Mafia one at the moment, the Mafia documentary.
Oh, Fear
City, yeah, and it's about the FBI bugging all the 5 families of the mob.
Is this John Gotti or is this?
John Gotti was one of the captains within one of the 5 families. Which is weird, isn't it? Because you always think of John Gotti as being like the mob boss, but he wasn't. He was just...
Capo di tutti capo. Is that right?
Something like that.
The boss of all the bosses.
Well, that's...
the big cheese.
Yeah, Hannah would know.
Oh, okay.
So there is a point to this.
Oh, okay.
So they, in order to get their fingers in every pie in New York, what they did was they loaned money to businesses they knew could never pay them back.
I thought you were going to say they run a massive Facebook ad campaign or something. Worked on their SEO.
And when it came to it, they knew these loans weren't going to get paid back. So what happened was they generally broke the legs of the person who they'd loaned the money to, but then also said, right, we own 25% of your business now. So
right, okay.
So
I don't think we do that to our clients, you know.
No, I will get to the point if you let me. So obviously then they had money coming in from all angles. They were in oil and gas, they were in all the local businesses, people were paying them protection rackets and all this thing. But then what they did, which is really weird but relevant to this, is they improved those businesses.
Wow,
so
right.
So they went in and said, right, well, this is how you make it more efficient. This is how you provide a better customer experience. And so
loan sharking with the heart. Really?
Well, I don't think it was for selfless reasons.
So the kind of, when you say they basically loan money to business who they know couldn't afford it, so you're talking literally small to medium size, shops on the street.
Yeah, I mean, if you own a business in New York, I guess you had a little bit of money. But yeah, the butchers, bakers, candlestick makers were all in the pockets.
Collectively, all those businesses together.
And then what that meant was when the police came knocking or the FBI came knocking, everyone kept their mouth shut because they were all in the pockets of the mob. But the other side of it was the mob were trying to make these businesses make as much money as possible because they needed to be able to launder the money from their other activities. So the restaurants got better and the butchers got better and everybody up their game. I don't think Shrewsbury should do that anytime soon.
But so whilst not condoning that at all, when these businesses started performing better, did the mafia want a bigger slice? Or was it literally win-win?
I guess your 20% was worth more if the business was doing better. So it was win-win, but you had no kneecaps. So.
And did you have any of these business owners actually saying in this documentary that it wasn't a bad thing?
Yeah, I can't remember what they were called. There was a guy they're called the Subway Angels or something. So they set up. Basically, the police were too scared to police the subway anymore. So this group of vigilantes...
The Guardian Angels?
The Guardian Angels.
Yeah, the Red Berets. Yeah, I remember that.
So they set up their own private police force.
Right.
And they were saying, well, we got rid of all the petty crime by doing that and kept the subway safe so people could travel to and from their businesses and therefore business got better. It was almost like New York had a love-hate relationship with the mob because they'd improved the experience of owning a business in New York. But obviously, if you said the wrong thing, dobbed the wrong person in, ended up with a wiretap in your telephone, then you might end up in the Hudson River type of thing.
Wow. Have you watched it all now, then?
Just 2 episodes so far. I think there's only 4. But
that sounds really cool.
But that whole experiential marketing thing, they knew. I mean, they were into all sorts of car dealerships, everything, and they knew that the best thing you could do was make it feel like a really kind of friendly place you wanted to be, which it feels like the opposite because obviously Behind the scenes, they were literally killing people. But
and do you think experience marketing is that something else that we would class as common sense for us because we've been in this game a long time, or do you think most business owners understand this now? It's just the usual suspects of time and money that prevent people from doing stuff.
I think it's hard. I think we could have fallen into this category at one point. Is some people worry it's style over substance, and so they think that they're investing a lot of money in having nice furniture in their shop, or nice artwork on the walls, or a better till system, or whatever it might be, and they're worried they're being a bit of a flash Harry. And you would say, does it make the boat go faster? If the answer is yes, then it's not style over substance. You've done it for the right reasons. When people come in, are they more likely to buy from you because you've done this, and this? And that's the decision you've got to make. And that's why an interior decorator, when they decorate someone's house, they make it nice. They don't make it functional, because it makes it a nicer experience for the person in the house. And
it's difficult because I know sometimes, depending on the times and economy and everything, that sometimes the money comes in to start up a business. So whether that is the bank or a rich relative died, whatever. And it is scary and sad when you see someone take a big pot of money that sometimes they're going to have to pay back, and they buy all this flash stuff, all this lovely stuff. Say it's a shop, but they haven't thought about how to get people into that shop.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, because we have seen that over the years, time and time again. Like someone just sat there in his own bar or restaurant, and you look around, it's like it's lunchtime. You've got 4 diners.
Yeah.
And I've seen 2 waiting staff already. You must have a chef in the kitchen. You're walking around. Those diners aren't even going to pay the wages, let alone the rent.
And I know, knowing you, if you were that bar owner, you'd be out in the street wandering up and down, ushering people into your bar, and saying like, "Oh, come on, you can have a free starter. I'll give you a glass of wine." Like
running offers when the quiet periods, right? So Tuesday's quiet, right? What can we do about Tuesdays? Wednesday, you say loads of all the coach loads of oldies come in, right? What can we do for them? Offer them a cream tea deal or something like that. But giving people a reason to part with their money, it's so important, and it will be a wonderful world if people who worked hard and ethically to set up a business or to grow a business had people come to them and give them their money and then go out and refer all their friends to them.
Yeah.
And obviously sometimes that happens, but generally speaking, you need to be putting that shoe leather and that money in to not just get people into you in the first place, but to make them come back, to make them refer to you, refer you to their friends, to their circle.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that's something that's so easy to overlook. That there's a business local to us, actually. I don't mind name dropping them, Hickories. Who I think have nailed product and experience. It's like nothing else when you go in there. It's quite.
Is that one of the? It's got a little cinema for the kids in.
Yeah, a little cinema for the kids. Obviously, lovely like furniture and a lovely bar to prop yourself out whilst you're waiting for your table. Kind of like old Southern America style theming, but just like the staff are on point, the decor's on point, the drinks that they serve match up with the experience. It's all very much that kind of. You're fully bought into what's going on, and then. I've been to loads of other kind of smoke houses around the UK that do it a bit half-hearted, that they don't, it's not all in.
So if Hickories price themselves accordingly, so they've got the money to do that, because sometimes you'll go to what seems like a really cool, nice place, and then you look at the price and think, my God, that's cheap. How are they doing this? And of course, turns out they haven't been doing it properly, and they go bump.
Well, maybe. I mean, it's not expensive. I would say they probably do well on the drinks, but it's about volume, isn't it? They've taken the risk and gone, we've got a big enough space here to get enough people through the door.
How much is like burger and chips?
£13.
Fucking hell, is that the going rate now? God, wow. Tell how often I go out, don't you?
I think at McDonald's it's about £7.
So I saw something on Facebook the other day. It's get a cheeseburger for less than 50p now because of the VAT and the Monday.
Oh, really?
Is that right?
Oh, right. Well, what are we doing?
God, we haven't gone to McDonald's for ages, have we? But then sometimes I feel bad about giving McDonald's money when there are local burger places. Sometimes if I buy a book on Amazon, I feel bad. Like the movie shop, I feel bad that I didn't go into the local book. Not that we've got a local bookstore anymore, but it's like I should have given it to them. But I want that book. I want it now. And it's the same book, isn't it? a book is a book. There's no, unless it's signed by the author, there's no difference in it.
You sprung an idea with me there.
Oh, go on then. We're not going to open a bookshop, are we?
No, but I'm going to a book club tonight that I go to every month.
Gosh, it'll come around again.
Yeah, first week of the month.
Wow, right.
Obviously, you've got like 20 business owners in this book club. It's on Zoom at the moment, but normally it's face to face. So they all buy the book. Why on earth hasn't a local bookshop approached the book club and said, I can source the books for you each month? And obviously, I'm not going to make as much money as I'd normally make in my shop, but I'm going to get 20 sales out of it.
And a plug every month?
Yeah.
That's a good idea. So you just all go off and buy your books from wherever you want to?
Yeah, because some people want an Audible, some people want a hard copy.
Okay.
So I'd say it's 80% hard copy because, well, speaking personally, I can't really remember what happens in an Audible. It doesn't.
I've just ordered David Goggins' book on because it's like 16 quid.
Does he read it?
Hey?
Is it an Audible? Sorry.
No. So I got the Audible first of all, but I was listening to it and it's like I struggle to retain that much. I need to. So I've just gone onto Amazon and bought the book.
But does David Goggins read his Audible? Is it him?
It's half and half. It's almost like conducted like an interview. The guys, yeah. So
he's obviously very enthusiastic, but sometimes I get lost in the story and then forget what he said.
So if every time I find myself making an excuse of myself in business, I think, right, what would Goggy say?
Yeah, well,
it usually involves dropping the F-bomb, obviously, but it's
JSDI.
When you read about or hear about the sort of upbringing he had and pretty much every failure he had, he will attribute to himself and his mindset, and obviously just the SEAL training alone, I suppose, sorts the wheat from the chaff. But when you actually work out that, not every, obviously some things are out of your control, absolutely, but other times in business you think, yep, that's my fault, yep, that's my mindset. And sometimes, in business it is hard when something goes wrong. It's hard to take it on the chin. When everything goes right, you'll accept all the plaudits.
Yeah.
But when was the last time you read about a business going under and it said in the paper, we just didn't market ourselves hard enough? They're blaming the recession. They're blaming increased car parking charges. I mean, you name it. It's like, no, it's because no one knew you were there, or no one knew why they should go to you rather than so down the road, because he's flying.
Well, I was reading about entrepreneurial habits at the weekend on this basis, and it was Rob Moore, actually, and he was saying that true entrepreneurs, which I don't class myself as, by the way, I think I'm not there yet, are very, very hard on themselves and forget, we talked about this the other day, forget to celebrate the little victories and reward themselves for the good that they've done. And I think people who perhaps are never going to quite make it in business blame everyone else. It's a different mindset.
I was listening to Rob Moore podcast on the way in today.
Oh, yeah.
It was one of his rant ones. He actually labelled some of his podcast rant.
Okay.
Yeah. It was,
I could do this.
It's all about burnout, basically. People who just throw themselves at something like 10x, hustle, and then
it's a load of bollocks.
6 months later they go out of business and start up something else. But that's interesting. That's it. Yeah, because that's true as well.
Hi, Emily at Codebreak. I just wanted to check if you've booked your discovery call with Andy or Joel yet. It's a free 20-minute chat to talk about your goals and how we can help you achieve them. Visit codebreak.co.uk to book.
And we're back.
Well done, Emily. No, Rob Moore, well, we're big fans of him, aren't we? And he talks a lot about the importance of mindset. And obviously we're doing our Thursday podcast now that purely looking at sort of mindset and confidence and attitude. But it's true when you read about, you think, are you really going to blame the demise of your business on the bloody car parking charges? That it's gone up from £2 to £2.20. I mean, fucking hell.
Yeah.
It's just, no, take it on the chin. I know what's gone on your business. I know what happened when I said, why don't you try networking or come along as my guest free of charge? So it sounds a little bit personal now, but I'm actually saying, and you literally said, I couldn't be arsed doing that. And now here you are moaning about the car parking charges causing your business to go under.
How can you have so much insight that you know specifically it was that did the damage when there's so many other things you could have been doing? And we live in a market town that has its struggles, but the market hall in the middle of our market town is thriving, so there's no problem with footfall in our town. People go in.
They've done really well, haven't they?
Yeah, so you got to look, it could be rent, that's fair. It could be your rent that's causing you trouble. It could be your location, but there's a whiskey shop now, isn't there, in town? And they're very good at their customer experience. I've seen they do tastings and they do great social media presence and stuff like that. So it proves that you can make it work if you want to. You just it's that combination of product or service, experience, and then dotting the I's and crossing the T's.
And knowing this before you launch, whether that's a new business or launching a new service, getting that planning in place. And obviously, at some point, you just got to bloody do it. You can plan to the nth degree.
Yeah.
But you've got to have, right, what time and money am I going to be putting inside, or who am I going to be employing or outsourcing it to make sure that people know who I am, why I do what I do, and why people should come to me rather than anyone else.
Yeah. You ever seen that Ramsay's Kitchen Nightmares? You ever watched that?
Yeah, a few times.
Where he transforms a restaurant.
Yeah.
And obviously, every episode of that, he ends up taking some samples down to the seafront or whatever it might be. And he says to the owner, have you ever gone out and touted for new customers? No, never. What are you doing? You can literally cook up some sandwiches in 5 seconds and get out there and show people how amazing your food is. Why aren't you doing that?
It's like going to the good food shows. Most of the people there selling their wares have got some free samples, whether it's people walking around with a tray or literally on the counter, free samples of sausages, cheese, whatever. But there are some, you could literally see the business owners there, stood there with their arms crossed. No, I ain't giving away any freebies. So you got all these cheese stalls, and like 3 of them have got little cheese samples. Your cheese stall hasn't. I can tell you now that you're going to do a lot worse than the other 3.
And the other side of that is, if you've got the manpower, don't do the tray just on the counter. Always have a person behind the tray, because
smiley.
Exactly, smiley. What kind of cheese do you like? Oh, well, I like more mature flavours. All right, well, you don't want that one. It's a bit too mild, but I'll go cut you a piece of this one. Try this one. What do you think? Right, well, it's normally £4 a packet, but for you today, I'll do it for £3.50. What are you saying? I mean, I should be a cheese seller. Listen to me.
That's really good. Wow, Joel. But I'll buy the cheese. I'm a vegan. Well, flexitarian.
Sort of.
Flexitarian.
But, what are you pissing about at?
Because they don't. I worked hard for this cheese. I'm not going to give it away free of charge.
But you're not. Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? That's the That's a podcast in itself. You position it and set it up so that people think they're getting a fantastic deal every time. So let's say it costs you all in to make that cheese 50p, and so you need to sell it for £4 to make the margin you want to make. You advertise it on that stand at the Good Food Show at £6. Then you've always got £2 to play with when you're chatting to people. And cheese is an easy one.
Yeah, but that's I mean, God, this is broaching on sort of our Thursday podcast territory, but it's to do with that mindset and that attitude that, no, I'm not going to just discount this. And you're missing the point about good creative offers. You haven't done your maths properly and thought about it enough. You just don't give like 50% off for no reason. Have a conversation with people. Free samples are just brilliant. I mean, to be honest, even in a service-based business, more of us that a customer wants or a potential customer wants, we will do some kind of deal. Deals, if done correctly, viable for any business.
Like back to the cheese thing. If someone's bought 3 blocks of cheese off you at a thing, put a 4th block in for free. Because they probably haven't quibbled on the price, so you can afford to give them the 4th. But then you slip in a little handwritten note to say, thank you very much for buying our cheese. We've offered you a 4th one just so you could try it because it was a bit outside your flavour profile. And by the way, our website is www. And you'll have a customer for life.
But I think because so many business owners, especially if you're starting up, it tends to be you on your own or you and a partner, whether that's, your wife, your husband, or just a business partner, and you haven't got a dedicated marketing person. So again, that time needs to be put aside. Right, how are we going to bloody market this? How are we going to get people into our shop? And it could be, like you say, walking up and down the high street with some leaflets on, with some kind of creative offer on, like 3 for 2, or it's like, spend X, get Y free. I mean, places like Sainsbury's, Boots, the big boys, they do offers really well. So you go into Boots to get a toothpaste and you come out with bloody dental floss, those funny little brushes, mouthwash, everything, because they know how to do offers. So an offer, not that discounts can't always work. So, we've got clients who every now and then run a 20% off. It always works for them. Generally speaking, it's about added value and oh, I was going to spend £5, but if I spend
for
£10,
yeah.
exactly. And it can really. What was your popcorn story? You mentioned that the other day.
Yeah,
the popcorn offer.
this is a good one. So I was watching it. You can find this on YouTube. So if you just search cinema popcorn pricing on YouTube, you'll get this one. And basically, an American cinema chain did a real test where they sold popcorn for £3 for a small or £7 for a large. And all 100 people that came into the cinema, if they went for popcorn, I think everyone bar one bought the small at £3. In the second test, they had a small popcorn for £3, a medium popcorn for £6, and kept the large at £7. And it was the exact reverse on that test. Nearly everybody went for the large. Exactly the same product, but the perceived value of the large had dramatically increased because of the way they position their pricing. And obviously, it's popcorn. They're making a lot of money on a £7 tub of popcorn. But that's where you need to be thinking about. So, like the cheese seller, right? If I sell 3 blocks of cheese, what can I do to give incredible perceived value? So I know I need to make X amount per customer. And if I sell them 3 blocks of cheese, yes, I've given away more product, but I've actually made myself £6 instead of £2 or whatever it might be.
And you've increased that loyalty, like you say. If there's a card in the bag that gets them to the website, I mean, so many businesses now are rightly so building a tribe. You know, we got it with our Stay Hungry merch and everything. It's all that, you know, because we don't just promote our clients. We've got their backs. We protect them.
Yeah.
And even I know we seem to be fascinated with cheese today. So to join,
Bloody love cheese.
To join some kind of cheese community where, right, if you sign up free of charge, you get our email once a week, and it will have the people want to feel part of it.
If it doesn't exist already, that'll be the next one. Like there's gin clubs and rum clubs. There's surely cheese clubs where you get to try different cheese every month.
And it won't be right for everyone, but guess what? You've asked the question, would you like fries with that? Literally, an inoffensive question. You're just asking the question. Some people say no, but you know what? Some people say yes, and you'll get more money out of them.
Which for a cheese shop is chutney. Would you like a jar of chutney with that?
Oh my God. So my brother-in-law, he's getting married next month, and the lady he's marrying, her father is like a chutney expert. And no, not a manufacturer for it. He just like oldest chap at home making chutney in his spare time, and he's made a courgette chutney, right? Not the sexiest vegetable. Holy shit! Like a chutney, I could have that. I could have that with curry. It's that nice.
Really?
I'll have it with everything. But he only makes them in these tiny jars, which is a bit selfish. But it's so nice. And so Emma's now buying books on chutney to try and make them herself.
We make chutneys
which I
for
fully
people
encourage.
at Christmas.
Oh, I didn't get one.
Chutneys, sweet chili jam.
Didn't get any of those.
No, you just get geeky shit.
What did I get?
Would you rather the handmade stuff from home?
Chutney, I would, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Did we buy each other Christmas presents?
Yeah.
I'm desperately trying to remember. I'll always remember buying you the Stormtrooper whiskey decanter.
Which is in my living room. Has whiskey in it. And I bought the matching glasses to go with it.
Awesome.
So I fully embraced it. I had to even buy a wooden little plinth to put it on, so it looked good.
I do miss whiskey.
Do you?
Yeah.
Is there not a non-alcohol alternative?
The Clean Liquor Company do gin, they do rum. I think the rum's quite new, but they don't do whiskey. So I'm sure there are sort of alcohol-free or low alcohol.
You were a whiskey
whiskies.
Mac man, though, weren't you? Can't you just have a ginger beer?
No, I'd have like nice single malt whiskies every now and then, a nice treat. But now, so we bought the. So I was actually just reading on LinkedIn before this podcast. One of the Brewdog guys was saying how basically Brewdog, they almost went under, but they dug their heels in.
What?
Innovated
In COVID? Or
yeah,
Oh, right.
yeah, literally. Looking like having to closing 101 of their bars, whatever it was. But they adapted, selling online, and actually, I'm trying to recall now, something like profits are actually 15% up. And I just put a comment with a picture of my my no alcohol Brewdog. Is it Brewdog AF or something?
Yeah,
something like that.
Punk AF,
yeah,
isn't it?
so
Which
yeah,
is
so-
alcohol free, but it's really punk as fuck.
So yeah, how rude. But yeah, it's a really tasty no alcohol beer, and it's like again their diversity, and they know the sort of the teetotal market is increasing all the time.
Yeah.
Just like the plant based market, they're adapting, whereas obviously a lot of breweries won't be adapting, and that's up to them. But looking for those opportunities.
Brewdog rum is delicious.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
See, I didn't even know they did spirits.
1,000 cuts or something, 500 cuts or something it's called. But it's not under the Brewdog brand, but it is Brewdog's rum. They sell it in Asda, but I buy it from Brewdog because I'm a bit like brand loyal. Like the Brewdog experience is very good. I was drunk in Bristol. I was like, I'm bored of beer now. So I said to the bar, and obviously the bar staff.
Neat rum you're talking about.
Yeah, so the bar staff are like next level in Brewdog. They know about their product. And I said, I can't drink any more ale. I'm full to the brim of ale. Have you got any shorts? And she said, well, and they've got external shorts on the bar. But I was like, well, we've got this one, this rum. Oh, I really like rum. And it's a very like almost medicinal type taste, but it's delicious. I mean, we must have got through 2 bottles between a group of 4 of us that night because we were on it. But because of the experience they provided and because the staff were so well educated on their product, she steered me away from cheaper brands to their rum. And then, would you like a little taste? Oh, bloody hell, that's delicious. I mean, it helps I was half cut at the time. But then...
investing in the staff training.
I've had 2 bottles of that rum ordered to home from Brewdog since. I've bought friends that were on the trip with me for their birthdays.
Well, we talk about, this is another podcast itself about staff training. We're always keen to learn here and make sure that our guys are learning, whether that's buying books, YouTube, listening to Audible, whatever it might be. But it's so important because I know there are lots of business owners out there who don't realise their employees are costing them business. How many times have you walked into a shop and the guy or girl behind the till hasn't even looked up from their phone?
Yeah.
And it's like you look around, or actually want some help, there's no one there. Well, you know what, bollocks to it, I'll just go and buy it off Amazon. And you turn around and walk out. Whereas we talked about Harrods, the toy shop, because of the margins in their business and what they were charging, they can afford to have lots of employees. Brewdog, I imagine it wasn't like one barman or bar lady trying to run the entire place. They had staff who are trained, knowledgeable, and there in enough volume to make sure everyone was looked after.
And it's probably ingrained in them. At some point, that lady had probably read a script about what to say when somebody asks about rum.
Scripts are good.
And we're going through that at the moment. We're improving our customer experience, but every customer that comes through the door will at some point go through a very similar experience, and all of our staff will know exactly what to do, when to stand to attention, when to do whatever they need to do, what music should be playing, and that's the level of detail you need to go into, whether you're a sweet shop or a high-end whiskey shop.
But if you haven't budgeted for that or unwilling to invest in that, it's a very hard hill to climb, isn't it? Because some of it,
break the habits of a lifetime.
Yeah. What a load of bollocks! I just want to open my shop and employ anyone to work, as long as they can work a till. It's like, no, you can't think like that. Again, work hard to get people in, and then how are you going to convert them? So work hard getting people to your website. How are you going to turn that website visit into an inquiry or a sale? And again, it's just half a journey. Otherwise, you've invested loads in your SEO or your Google ads. Tons of people to your website. Oh, no one's buying though. Well, did you look at your website first? You start with the end in mind.
Yeah. What do you want people to do? And what's the best way to warm them up to do that? And then the only thing I'd say aside of that is it what they need? You don't want to manipulate people to buy something that they don't need. That's bullshit. You target the people that have already got their hands up for whatever it is you do, and then make it as easy as possible for them to buy what you're doing. And I love that side of marketing, that whole, how do you make a prospect have no buyer's remorse through the entire process? And
yeah.
I mean, I've got it at the moment. I drive a Mazda. It needs a service, and I've got a digital service record. I don't have a service book, so there's no way you can stamp it. And as it stands, unless I go to the Mazda approved dealership, there's no garage that seems to be interested in servicing my car. And that blows my mind. I'm literally like an easy customer. I got my hand up. I want the full work service. I want my aircon regassed. I'll even let you valet it, and I'll pay for all of it. I just resent having to go to the main dealer because I've been loyal to the main dealer for 3 years, and now I want. And there's not a single garage as I can find near my house that has gone, there's a market for this. Why don't we make the experience easy? There's obviously money in it because the main dealers charge a fortune. It blows my mind.
No, absolutely. I mean, sometimes you just can't give your money away. We can't mention exactly on air what we're after, but we need assistance for new clients moving forward. Yeah. So I sent an inquiry through that firm in Birmingham over a week ago.
I'm meaning to ask you about this.
Guess who's got back to me? Absolutely no one from that firm. It's like Emma and I, and this is sort of serious commercial level stuff. But on the other extreme, we've got some shit that needs doing around the house, like plastering, things like that. Oh my God, I'm sick of leaving messages. It's literally it would be quicker for me to train as a plasterer, to be honest.
Remind me of that. I know someone who could help you.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Well, do they return messages?
Yeah.
Because literally, if you return messages, you're halfway there. You can't give your money away. And it's like, right, when people walk into your shop or come onto your website, are you making it super easy? So if someone doesn't buy, how are you staying in touch with them? Have you got their data? Have you nicely asked their data? Have you given them a reason to get their data? Because it ain't a bad thing, whether it's like, could you fill out, you fill out this card to join our cheese scheme and you'll get 10% off. Great, I've got your email address and I can stay in touch with you nicely and encourage you to buy off me again, encourage you to refer me to your friends. But if you haven't got that data, like, retargeting, we do a lot of this for clients, that people come to your website, they don't buy or don't inquire, and they go off. What do you do to stay in touch with them? Well, you won't know, will you?
Yeah.
You won't know unless you've got something like retargeting in place to follow them around the internet.
The number of people who don't even know how much traffic they've got. It just blows my mind. What's the most popular page on your website? Don't know. Why don't you know? If you're expecting to do all your business through your website, why don't you know what the most popular page on your website is? Why don't you know the popular top 10?
What's the best way for people to get in touch with you? Phone. We convert best on the phone. Great. Where's your phone number? It's on the contact us page. What, and nowhere else? No. Right, okay. What happens if someone calls at 5:05? Well, they can leave a voicemail. No one leaves voicemails. If you're telling me that literally the best way for people to get in touch is to phone, your phone number should be everywhere and you should use a call answering service or just employ someone all the time to answer the phone.
Yeah.
It's just, again, it sounds like common sense. It'd be surprising how many times we see that. And why, to be honest, the phone is a dying art anyway, no matter what people say. A lot of people, they just want a message, they want to inquire online, they want to send direct message. I don't
like using the phone. And yeah, I use the phone all the time here. But in my personal life, I don't like using the phone.
I'm sick of leaving messages.
I think that's why I don't like using the phone, is I try to, and nobody bloody answers, so I've given up now. And then when someone does answer, they don't know what I'm talking about, and that drives me mental as well. Why would you take the risk of letting an employee answer the phone who can't help with the phone inquiries?
That's what just surprised me. I see on LinkedIn quite a few debates going about the phone, and there's always some old school salesperson that will pipe up saying, no, the phone is the most underused tool in business. It's like, okay, now, when was the last time you bought something off a cold call?
No, that I entirely agree. The cold call thing is bullshit.
Some people seem to love it, allegedly.
I think a booked phone call has a lot of strength to it. If you can both dedicate 10, 20, 30 minutes to a call and have that conversation where, I mean, it sounds like I'm plugging our discovery calls now, but
I totally agree with you.
But right, let's get to the crux of what your issue is. The car garage is a good one. I emailed maybe 10 garages about my car. If one of them had just rung me back and said, well, why? What's your beef? I'd be like, well, I just want to get my car serviced. Well, we don't offer the Mazda digital service record. Well, and then I'd be able to say to them, well, how come? Because I'm a geek and I've spoken to Mazda and they offer it to independent operators for free. So why haven't you got it? Mm. And that opens up an opportunity for that garage. And nobody's doing that.
Yeah. I got another one now. This was just last week. And speaking to a member of staff of this business, I just said, just so busy. All these new inquiries, we're just not able to return all emails and phone calls at the moment. We're just so busy. I'm like, wow. I hope your boss doesn't find that out. The guy who pays your wages. You've literally got people queuing up to give you their money. And what, you're not letting your boss know? Because he might probably say, fuck, let's employ someone to handle that then. Holy shit. Wow. So staff training, it's just so important. Staff processes, you mentioned scripts. There's a reason why scripts are popular. They work. There's a process. Like if you join McDonald's, Starbucks probably a good example. I bet when you join up, start getting a job at Starbucks, you get, right, this is what to do. Oh. This is the script. You follow that or you're sacked.
I got no shame in admitting that we have a script for our discovery calls because I don't want to forget what I need to say anyway. I need to ask these questions to find out the information I need to know if I can help someone. And unless I ascertain whether I can help someone, I shouldn't help them.
There's a reason places like McDonald's, Starbucks are here and doing well. And their model is that that stand. Well, the film was it The Founder that we talked about a lot. Great film to watch about how Ray Kroc took a 6-chain burger restaurant into one with bloody 34 million burger, however many they are, how many McDonald's there are across the world. How he did it by standardizing everything, by literally writing down those processes about. This is how to do a milkshake. This is how to do a burger.
Well, yeah, he learned it off the back of a milkshake packet, didn't he? And then he was like, right.
Really good film. Don't know why it didn't get very good reviews. Thought it was very interesting. Maybe it's because we're looking at it from a business point of view.
I like that one. So, pulling it back to Field of Dreams, the build it and they will come type attitude. What's your number one tip around that?
If you're launching a business, you've got to have a marketing budget put aside. There should always be some kind of fund anyway, but I'm not talking about marketing budget should be put aside in case or for a rainy day. It's almost like the number one thing, bar launching your business.
What's the fuel?
Yeah, you've got to get sales and marketing, the lifeblood of your business. People coming in brand new and then getting those existing customers to buy a few again and to refer you. And that will involve, in fact, it's not time or money or both. It is both. You need to invest both.
I know loads of people now who've set up businesses and they've got a brilliant reputation. So in the early days, they're up and running. They're away at the races because they've basically taken all the clients they've worked with over the last 20 years and pulled them into their business. But then it's like, okay, well, what are you doing to turn those people into brand advocates? What are you doing to attract the new type of customers that you've now realised that you need in order to sustain this? What are you doing to grow that business? And that's where the reinvestment comes. And so even those people who know they've got enough for them to survive in the early days, if your big picture is to build a business, a viable business, you need to make sure that you're reinvesting that time and money straight off the bat.
Yeah. I think sometimes if you're a small business, you can think like a small business owner. Look at the successful big boys. You're just like a successful big boy on a smaller scale. I shop at Sainsbury's, right? To be honest, I've always shopped at Sainsbury's. It's convenient to the office, and unless they do something majorly wrong ethically, I probably always will shop at Sainsbury's to get the day-to-day groceries. Does that mean Sainsbury's stop advertising? McDonald's, people go to McDonald's, they go to KFC, they go to Burger King. Do those three just not advertise anywhere? No, they spend money. They spend money on their marketing. There's a reason you eat at a certain place. There's a reason you drive a certain car. Somewhere, somehow, that brand has got into your psyche, and that's by spending time and money on their marketing, regardless of size.
Nice one, Andy. That's been good fun.
Cool.